Hey, good hey, good morning everybody. How are you? Can everyone whoops, no. Oh, no, no. There we go. There we go. There we go. Good morning everybody. How are we doing? The recorder is running, by the way. Here, I'll double check that. Yep, the recorder is running. So, thanks Ed. I hope everybody is doing great this week. This is a good Mondays, I appreciate everybody being here, but this is also a great time to get prepared for the rest of the week. Okay, so, ask your questions, please. The goal is by Friday to make some money for sure. For some folks, it's at the end of the day, others, end of the week, and others maybe the end of the month. But, man, I think a Monday is one of the best times ever to start planning your week a little bit. I can assure you, you've not missed anything yet today. So let's just get started, okay? So hello, Carly. How are you? I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. To you. That's what I'm going to say there. To you. Okay. Let's see. Let's start with this. Here it is Monday morning. Let me get my drawing tools going. There we go. Here it is Monday morning, and by my account, the market is still quite bullish. This is the SPY right here. And if we look down here at T2123, this is a program that I use. This is TC2000. This is just part of TC2000. But it's an indicator I use pretty heavily. And you can see that that is still bullish. Maybe I should draw that this way, just like the market. You can see we're still bullish here on the 15-minute. And you can see that we're still bullish on the hourly here. So by all accounts, well, we're still bullish. And we can come over here and we can look at the Qs. This here won't change. You can see that we're bullish. We can look at the diamonds. You can see that we're bullish. IWM, you can see that we're bullish. And by the way, bullish doesn't necessarily mean buyable. Okay, so when I say something is bullish, it's bullish to me, but it doesn't mean that it's buyable. I'll point out when I think it's buyable, again, just for me. For Carly or you guys might have other ideas on what is bullish or what is buyable, and that's the way it should be. That is the way it should be. So right now, like I say, I'm going to have to say the market is bullish here. Whoops, what happened to my, thought I lost everything for a second. So let's start today off with any questions. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, if you want it to be about a particular chart, it can certainly be. The whole goal is in these webinars, is to help everybody. So if you do have those questions, this is a great time right now. If you have scanner questions, I mean, this is the live trading alerts room, and I am the speaker for the host of LTA. So if there's anything I can help with that, sure. So Mike is asking, can we discuss gold? And I'm just going to put GLD. Is that all right? And of course we can discuss gold as long as it pertains to a chart. So do you have a question on GLD gold? As long as it pertains to a chart. If you're asking me what I think gold's going to be, a year from now or something, or how does the current market move affect gold, I have no clue. I trade strictly from the chart. So here we go. Mike says, where do you see GLD going? Okay, great question. I love it. And this is where, Mike, I hope I can simplify a chart for you, okay? I want to start right here. We're on a daily chart. You can clearly see it up here. And the red dots is my trading trend line. This is the line I use to trade a trend. Doesn't necessarily mean it meets your qualification for a trend, but it does mine. So I'm looking at GLD here, and we are underneath my trading trend, and my trading trend is red. Therefore, I have to be bearish on GLD. That's where I see it going. Now, nothing, we'll go back here now that I've established we're bearish. I am always going to say a chart is going with the trend. Now, at any given time, that trend can change. And we could put in, some kind of a single candle or two candles that could change that trend. And something like that would change my mind. Absolutely. Because it will break above my trading trend. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a watch list, and so to keep an eye on this, what I'm going to do is come down here to my list manager, and I'm going to simply type in GLD, and now it is on my watch list. Now, for my watch list, I've got multiple setups. For instance, the 1750 trap. Everything I look at that I like or I want to keep track of, I put in this watch list. And it could come up on just something simple like this. It could come up on a 1750 trap, could be in an RBB, could be a 3/8 trap, I've actually got two RBBs. And it could come up on a short, my short alert window, and they all are in my what I'll call my special watch list. Okay, so what I will do is assume this is short, trade it short until it changes direction. All right. So right now, that was a long way to get to. I still think it's short, or I think it's going down because of the trend it is in. And can you see what I mean by the trend? See, there's the trend. And you might see that bottom here, and you might see that bottom here, and you might see that we're still above that. In no way, shape, or form is that a reversal pattern. So I have to go with the downside. Sorry that took so long. I hope that answered your question. And if you have another, please throw it out there. Trader X is asking about STLD. Yeah, setting up STLD. It is. Yeah, it's, what just happened here? There we go. Yes, it is setting up. Sorry, I had to check my recorder, make sure it was working. Something weird happened. So, yeah, it is setting up. And you know what I'd like to do is come over here to a naked chart. And let's just make it truly naked for a second. There we go. And so let's take a look at this. Here's the downtrend in this area. And then all of a sudden, here we've popped up. And here we've pulled back. We're putting in that nice bullish engulf in there. So yeah, I would have to say that that is a bullish setup. For the purposes of going back to Mike, I would like to go back to this chart. And you see how we've been in a downtrend, just like that GLD was, and see how now we're turning, well, see, okay, now let's go to STLD. So you can see the downtrend in STLD. Now you can see the uptrend in STLD. So I happen to think, yes, that's bullish. So let's think about this for a second. Okay. Let's let's work the numbers here. So on a piece of paper, just make check marks. Is the market bullish? I'm going to say check mark. Yes, it is. Is T2123 bullish on the 15-minute and hourly? I'm going to put 2 check marks. So there's 3 check marks total. So now I'm going to come over here and we're going to go to STLD. There we go. Do we see a reason to buy this? So I see a pair of dojis, a gap up, almost, it's not really an island reversal, but you've got the gap down, then the gap up. It's not what you might think a book perfect morning star is, but it is in my book a morning star signal. And here we've ran up right to the 50. We're pulling back. We've got a nice bullish engulf. I think that's a beautiful chart. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's put another check mark there for STLD. LD, there you go. So what I've done is I've checked all my boxes. Is the market bullish? Yeah. Is the chart bullish? Yeah. Now, somebody might look at this and say, well, jeepers creepers, I don't really like it till it kind of breaks out over about 1040. And you know, I wouldn't disagree with you. Somebody could say they're buying it right now, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that's a chart that's buyable here, and I think it's buyable on a breakout. So let's suppose that you want to wait for a breakout. And let's suppose you want that breakout, and let's suppose you want a 3/8 trap, okay? Or, I'm going to put an or below, this is going to take forever to write, isn't it? Below, let's just say the highest high in the past 5 days. Okay, P, past 5 days, something like that. And what that'll do, it's like this right now. This is probably broken out of a 3/8 trap at the moment, but it's still below the highest high in the past 5 days because there's the highest high, right? So I look for both those types of charts. But what happens now is you're not feeling it because you think it might need to break out of a 104.10 or something like that. And I get that. You know, I totally get that. I'm not going to argue with that. And again, I'm not going to argue with anybody buying it now. I think it's a buy now. I think it's a buy on a breakout. But on a breakout, you want something like this to occur. So this is where I'm going to put it on my watch list because I have a setup for that. For a simple 3/8 trap, trend indicator rising, you can put it above the 50, above the 200, if that's what, you know, puts gas in your tank. You can do that. And then you'll be alerted the next time it sets up, for those that just don't buy it right now. And by the way, for those that had this on the watch list already, and you're in it already, you were alerted, if you're following my kind of alert anyway, you were alerted when this candle started turning green, basically an open candle, and a 3/8 trap. That would have been a classic for it, okay? So Trader X, I happen to think it's pretty nice here, okay? Trader X is also saying made a new low, a new higher high, higher low, and above the 50-period moving average. Yeah, I think this is a superb chart. Absolutely superb. What I would like to do is maybe go take a look at X just to get, you know, any confirmation in there. Look at one of its brothers or sisters or cousins or, you know, whatever it is. And look at that. X is doing the same thing. Nice. Paul's pointing out NUE. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Um, on a side note, if somebody was in love with, say, steel, okay, or maybe energy, or you name it, the transports, or SMH, if you're in love with those, there's nothing wrong with making a watch list just for those, just so you can see when they start moving, or you can put those just in that particular watch list to so you can be notified when they're setting up. It could be kind of a general setup, or it could be very tailored, like a 3/8 trap or a breakout, or a 3 lower lows and then a bullish candle, something like that. So anyway, that's one thing you might look at. CJ is looking at AI. So I like AI. One thing about AI is there's a lot of emotions floating around on not this AI chart, but just AI in general. And, I'm looking at this chart here, and while I like the whole area, and I do like the chart, I don't particularly feel that it's a buy now until 3020 up here. Now, if it was to pull back lower, we would change that, and believe it or not, we wouldn't go higher with it, we'd go lower with it. But if a pullback would give us a different type of setup. So now my way of trading, this is not particularly a buy because it's a closed candle. It's a bearish candle. I usually wait for those bullish candles. So, but the trend is still there, kind of slopping around a little bit at the moment. Yeah. Matt loves nothing but charts. I guess I maybe I don't know what that means completely now that I read it again. Yeah, maybe I don't know what that means. Maybe I won't say anything. Matt, if you want to add a little something, perhaps, that would be great. Let's see, PLTR. PLTR, looking to the long side. So why is this looking long? I'm going to give it my best shot here. Bob T's pointing this out. And I'm going to give it my best shot on why he might think it's long. And I'll, maybe what I think as well. You can see the trend here. It's bullish. Absolutely bullish. There's no questions about it. There's not a soul on earth can argue with me about this chart. Right here, what we see. That's a bullish trend, and a trend will continue until it's no longer a trend. So let's come back over here. And you can see the green dots. We just look at them a little differently on different charts. It gives a different view of it. So here we are moving sideways. And I totally agree with Bob. Absolutely agree. Now, I don't particularly think it's an entry here, but that's okay. I mean, when we look at charts for an entry, my way is not the right way. Matt or Bob or CJ or Paul or Mike or Trader X, Malcolm there, you guys' way is not the right way either. Everybody has to have a way for themselves. If you don't know what that way is, then you simply, Malcolm says you want to bet. If you don't know what the right way is, then what you need is a little more education. You need to spend a little more time at our webinars. Ask a few more questions, okay? And we can help you with that. I can share my strategy. Malcolm can share his strategy, but it doesn't mean it's the right way for you. An example, I don't see this as a buy, but who's to say? Who's to say you can't buy that right in here and maybe put a stop down here at that pivot low, or maybe put a stop for you T-line traders at the T-line, or maybe yesterday's low. Let's do that. Who's to say that? I mean, no one has the right to say, well, that's not a buy, and I'm not going to say it's not a buy for you, but it is not a buy for me. And here's why. I see this big bearish engulf, and this big bearish engulf is not broken yet. In fact, to me, it's still kind of alive. And what I want to be cautious of, we don't want this to happen, right? We don't want that to happen. And I want to be very, very careful of that. Now, PLTR, I don't know. Maybe this is just my opinion too. But I think this is a super, super, super strong company. I think it's a great company. I think they do a good job. I don't believe they're going to go to zero. I mean, they could go down more, sure. But overall, I think this is a good company. So yeah, I think it's going to go higher based on the information we have in front of us, such as T2123 says so, such as the market says we're still bullish. So why not? I'm just not agreeing with the entry right here. But wait, it's a 3-8 trap. I hear this a lot, by the way. But it's a 3-8 trap. Just because they're a 3-8 trap, they don't need to be bought. You want to make sure you like the whole chart. So what I'm kind of looking here is maybe we get where we're breaking out. We could just use today's high. That would break us out of this candle right here. And then what we do is we wait. Just make this blue. We break out, and then we wait for that rest or pullback. And by the way, if there's any trader that thinks that we're not going to pull back and all we're going to do is go up like this, you must have started trading about 2.5 minutes ago, okay? That's when you must have started trading, because that's not what's going to happen. It's just not. So I will wait patiently. And this is where I want to take advantage of trending charts. This is where I'm going to put it on my watch list. Now, I already showed you one way I might put it on the watch list. I'm going to show you a different way now. So I flag it. And then what I come over here and do, and I might flag 3 or 4 charts throughout the day. Let's see, I just noticed, well, no, we'll just do it this way. And I've already put a bunch on the watch list, a longer list. So we only have 2 now. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy flag symbols to the clipboard. I'm going to come over here to the scanner. You can pick any window you want, by the way, but I'm going to use my watch list. And then I'm going to go to user defined list manager. And this is my daily watch list. And I'm just going to put my cursor at the end of any ticker, hit enter. That opens me up a slot, and then Control V to paste. Now, I'm going to click X, and you'll see this come up. There's no data for TC2000. Okay, just click OK, and you're all done now. You can close this out. And I now have PLTR on my watch list. So, if this breaks out and pulls back to another 3-8 trap, I'll get notified. If it breaks out and pulls back below the highest high, I'll be notified, assuming it's a bullish candle. So let's work this back. Let's start with the bullish candle. This is what I want to see. That's what's going to get me in. So let's do this. Maybe we do break out. Let's just say today we break out. Maybe we even go up another day and then we pull back. When I get that bullish candle, and as long as it's in a 3-8 trap or below the highest high in the past 5 days, well, I just might be golden. Now, at this point, I'm going to have to reevaluate the whole market again. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days maybe. I'm going to have to reevaluate the market again. Are we in a buying mood? Is the attitude for the market bullish? Something like that. So anyway, I love the chart. Sorry to take so long in it, but I'm not personally too keen on the entry. Okay. Let's see. Remain detached, unbiased with anything. I guess, Matt, what you're saying is you like a pure, that's what I was trying to get out of you. What is it you like? You like a pure naked chart? I mean, I'm assuming that's what you mean right there. And I think that's great. I really do. I think it's really, really great. Let's see, Joel, should I wait for target? Should I wait for target to go more down before buying long? Well, Joel, we probably have a whole lot of conversation here to have. For one, this is nowhere near a long chart, and you can let it go down as far as you want, but you want to wait for a long chart setup unless you're just a bottom picker. And if you private message me your address and you say, yes, I'm a bottom picker, I will go on Amazon and send you a box of rubber gloves because you're going to need them when you go to bottom picking. And I'll leave it right there. HB, KRE, he's asking, or she maybe, KRE setting up for a long. Are you concerned about the bearish Hiromi form near the resistance on the 8th of June? Let's get rid of all that. On the 8th, I don't even know where the 8th is. Where is, let's see here. 8th of June, right there. No, I'm not concerned. Okay, let's talk about this. Again, everybody, you totally must have your own set of rules, your own what you look at in a chart. And I beg of you, if you really don't have those answers and you don't know how to get them, I'm going to share with you how to get them. Join us at these webinars. Ask these questions. Don't, ask questions that, well, like this one, okay? Maybe ask questions like this. Join any one of our trading rooms, right way options, hit run candlesticks, BYOB trading. They can help you figuring that out. Ed does a live trading webinar on Wednesdays with LTA. I do one every Monday on LTA. And this is a place to ask those questions. You've got to know those answers. Like, does that Hiromi bother you on the 8th? And the answer is no, absolutely not. And let me share why. I think Candlesticks is about the most prettiest thing you've ever seen. But that's not, I don't live and die by Candlesticks. If I had to put my chart rules in order, yeah, maybe that's, I don't know if there's a better way to put it. Number one, I'm a chart pattern trader, not a candlestick trader. Candlesticks make the chart pattern. So let's take a look at KRE. We have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. So far, we have a higher low. And what does that tell us? That tells us the trend is rocking from this point right here where we turn green. So there's one chart pattern looks good. The next chart pattern is hands down, this is my number one favorite chart pattern. And truly, I think it's about 99% of most traders. And that's when a chart pops up like this right here, pops up, and this right here, when a chart comes back. Now, the key is to hold the trend. You can come back all you want as long as you hold trend. Well, right here, for me, that's going to be my trend. So as long as that holds trend, now what I'm going to wait for is a buying signal. Maybe just one. Wait for that buy signal, and then it might become a trade. So there's nothing there that concerns me, because I'm not focusing on candlesticks, okay? And you know, I've said this before. Years ago, we didn't have the ability to have a camera like this. We didn't have the ability for chat, and it took a lot longer to learn how to trade. Not only did you have to ask your answers in typing, but you could only get answers in typing. And you guys know as well as I do, when you type a question out there, sometimes it's hard to get your message across without typing a love story. So nowadays you can learn to trade much faster, and you can learn all the nuances about a chart or about trading in general much, much faster, but you have to ask those questions. Okay, so bottom line, I think that's a great question. Thank you very much. I know I probably hung out there way, way too long, and I do apologize for that. Okay. Let's see, Matt. Fibonacci guarantees a pullback. Not just no, but hell no. How's that? Dumpling. How to tell how far it would go before pulling back. You know, here's another thing. And Dumpling, I'm going to read that question again. How to tell how far, and I don't know what it is. I'm just assuming a chart because you didn't put a ticker symbol in there. How far to tell how high, how to tell how high, far it will go before a pullback. Let me share something with you. Not you, not I, not whoever you think is the best trader in the world can tell you that piece of information. Not only that, not only can they or anybody tell you how high it will go before a pullback, nobody on this earth can tell you, is it going to be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or 10 days for that matter. Nobody can tell you that. So if you're into trying to, that question sort of leads to, you want to maximize your profits, that's not a good direction to go. Usually doesn't work out for traders. So bottom line, there's no way on earth to tell how high it's going to go. Here's an example. Take KRE. Let's just take KRE. Look, hey, it's got the banks in it. Whether you like banks or not at the moment, that doesn't particularly matter. We all know that banks are good down the road, okay? All the banks are going to shake all this dust off of them. They're going to shake the bugs off of them, and banks are going to be banks down the road. So here, is this the high? Well, somebody might say yes. Oh, no. What if you're a position trader? And we do this. That's just a minor pullback. That opens the door for more buyers at this point. So now it goes higher. And what if it does it again? It goes higher. And again, it goes higher. So, it's a KRE here. Somebody says, well, that went high because of whatever make-believe thing you might create. Well, but yet it went higher from here. But then you might back up and say, well, it went there and pulled back. Well, what kind of a trader are you? You see, there's so many variables. Nobody on earth can tell you that piece of information there, Dumpling. Okay. Mathematically impossible for there not to be a pullback. That is true. There's always going to be a pullback, Matt. You are 100% correct on that. Let's see. According to the second law of body mechanics, it will pull back. It's just a matter of when. Exactly. You are 100% correct about that. Looks like a buy signal to me. Again, without a ticker symbol, I have no clue. Let's see. Where am I? Favorite pattern is the trend pattern. I love the trend pattern too, Matt. Let's see. Hi, Rick. Sorry if you shared this already. Could you show the properties of your daily watch list windows? For example, maybe it is a 3/8 trapper below the highest high. I'll show you this one. I can't show you all of them because lieu of time. And I'm assuming, Michael, that you've got the scanner. So for this particular watch list, I mean, and more than happy, get your pencil out, everybody, if you'd like to copy it. If you want to copy the screen, by all means, do that as well. So a white candle, and you see there's no adjustments over here. It's just simply a white candle. And see, this is below the highest high in the past. I've got 7 candles. So this is just simply a rise, and I want to pull back below the highest high in 7 candles. The white candle tells me it's bullish today. The candle at least is bullish, okay? I have a minimum recent volume of the past 50 days being 100,000. I guess that's 100,000. Maybe I should. Yeah, it is. 100,000 shares or more. The RTW fast bull trend, there's no adjustments over here in the parameters. It's just simply a scan, RTW fast trend. User defined price relationship. Let's see what that is. I want it greater than the 17. By the way, the 17 is the green and red dots, and that's my trading trend. So I want price to be above my trading trend. And here is a maximum distance from, well, user defined maximum percent distance from average. So in other words, the current price, or maybe it's when it's opened up, maybe that's when it is, price from that moving average. And you see I've got this set at a maximum of 5% from the 17, or the trend indicator, or my trading trend. And then I've got no recent price cross of the simple 20. So I don't want it to have crossed the 20 in the past 5 days. I want it to be above the 20 period moving average for the past 5 days. Okay? And that's it in this one right here. I hope that was helpful. Let's see here. Let's see. Hi, yes, I have the scanner and use it a lot. Yeah, I love the scanner. Thanks, Michael. If you're in, I don't know what trading room you're in, but if you're in the hit run candlesticks room, you can ask me for any of these, and I'll be glad to get them to you. Right now, my time is a little bit cramped, so have to be careful how much time I spend doing this. Okay. Let's see, Chris, in the case of KRE, do we need to have a white candle? Chris, do you have a mouse in your pocket? The question is, do you need a white candle? Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Everybody, it's your money. And I share everything under the sun. All right, there's nothing I leave out here. I share what I do. Now, from there, you have to decide what you do. And so let me share what I do. Yes, I have to have a bullish candle, 100%, okay? Now, let me finish your question here. Or some sort of bullish candle before buying, yes. Reason I ask is this morning it was bullish, but now it's pulled back. So if you bought it on a bullish candle and it pulled back, well, that happens. I am in that category. I did buy this morning on a bullish candle, and it has pulled back. I'm not worried. My rule, I can't control a candlestick if it goes from bullish to not bullish or from not bullish to bullish. I can't control that. I have zero control of that. It was bullish when I bought it. Now I have a range that I am willing to hold that stock in. And again, everybody has got to find a way for them to trade a chart on their own. And I'm just trying to help, okay? Because once you understand how a mousetrap works, you're less likely to get your finger caught in it. When you understand how it works. So it's important to understand how the trade works so you don't get caught on the wrong side of things. Now, for me, my trading trend is what? The trendicator, right? And on this scan, which I don't know if it came up on this scan, but I want to show you that right there. Maximum percent from the 17 period moving average. So you might, one of your rules might be, well, I'm only going to trade this if it's X percent from the 17 moving average. You could do the same thing with the T line. You could do the same thing with the 10 period simple moving average. You could do the exact same thing. So you build your rules and trade within your rules. So if your rule is you've got to have a white candle or bullish candle, then that's your rule. Okay? And it could be a maximum percent from whatever moving average or anything else you might think of or choose. It's like, I like these pullbacks like this. I like these rallies. I like these pullbacks. I love a rounded bottom breakout, and all that goes into my thinking. I love the rounded bottom breakout. I love the pullback here. I love the trend. The market's bullish. So, now you wait for whatever triggers you into that scan. Okay, Chris? Does that make sense? Anyone else want to chime in on that? And some traders, they buy, what I'm going to call a bearish candle. And I don't mean bearish like down we go. It's just a dark candle. Open versus closed. That's a closed candle. And I prefer an open candle to buy. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Matt, my ignorance demands hanging out the wiser. Yeah. Hanging out in a group of people is really a wise thing to do. There's an amazing amount of knowledge you can get out of being in a trading room like this, any trading room for that matter, okay? Let's see, Bob T, when it comes back to creating a set of your own rules from what we learn here. Exactly, Bob. You learn here, and I'm not stupid. I know you guys go to the competitors' webinars. You should learn from them. Good Lord, when I had more time, I did. I went to every webinar everybody did, especially if it was free. Because if I learned one little thing, one tiny little thing, that helped me with my trading. Man, I took everything and rat-holed it in a jar. And I would shake that jar up every single day, and I would pull out something and, okay, let's try this and let's try that. Some things didn't make sense to me, so I never used them. But then again, maybe 5 years from then, maybe all of a sudden that did make sense, and I did start to use that. But I knew that little piece of information. So let's take a look at Boeing here. Look at Boeing moving up below the highest high in the past 5 days. less than 5% from the trend indicator. XRT, that might be a 3/8 trap right there, also below the highest high in the past 5 days, and that is above or less than 5% away from the trend indicator. See, so I've just set up a world where I trade, just a world. It's got to be in my little world. I'm still holding JNJ, currently up only a little less than 15%. Bought it last week. I forgot what day last week. But clearly this day, or well, it couldn't have been this day because I'm up 15%. So it was in here. Bought it. And you can see that typical trade. Here we rally up, we pull back. Here we rally up, pull back, following the trend indicator up. I'm long some Intel, currently up 10.5% on Intel. You can see this chart. You can see the handwriting on the wall. There's the trend. We've gone from a low to a high, to a higher low, to a higher high. So it's at, that simple, typical little pullback. I think I bought in here on that day right there. PFE, still long PFE, and currently up 7.3% on PFE. Boom. That was bought last week. Okay, so, and here's another little tidbit. In the hit and run candlestick room, we have some killer traders and magnificent stock pickers. Sometimes somebody will throw out a chart and I will like it. Now, there are those times I will just buy it, okay? But normally what I will do is I won't touch it if it doesn't come up on the scanner. I will flag it, I'll put it on the scanner, and I won't touch it. 99% of the time, I won't touch it unless it comes up on the scanner. It's part of my routine. Is that the best thing to do? No, you know what? There are times I miss out on a trade. There is. But I find it's a routine that helps, at least for me, as long as I keep my routine. And it's not too often that I put something on the scanner that it doesn't pop up in the next few minutes, because I've got things like, a pinball set up from down here, the 1750 trap, the rounded bottom breakout, a trending trap, a trending pullback. I mean, I've got my bases covered, but there are times that it doesn't come up on the scanner. Somebody throws it out. Oh man, I like that. And I will put it on the scanner. And like I said, I usually don't trade it unless I see it on the scanner. So let's see, is Piton a rounded bottom breakout? Yeah, actually it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. Hey, Bob, I've been with Rick and John a couple of months now and have been profitable where I was struggling before. Thank you, Bob. Very, very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. Yeah. One wheel clothes rack. All righty. Any other questions? Anything anybody wants to look at? Here's a chart that's coming up on my 1750 trap setup right now that has about 9% to the 50 period moving average. That's looking pretty sharp. Twillo. Twillo's looking good. I like the trend on Twillo. That's still working. I would like to see Twillo give us a little more love, but Twillo looks good. I mean, if somebody was buying Twillo, I couldn't argue with that at all. Just make sure your stop is in there. is the only thing. What am I thinking about DKNG? Right now, I think it's a bullish chart, but don't you think we could probably agree that there's really some breaking out it needs to do? And shoot, we could even go here for that matter. Yeah, can't we agree to that? I think we should be able to. I think we can agree that it's a really nice trend. I think we can agree that if DKNG does break out, I mean, what's stopping, $25, $26 stock here? What's stopping it becoming a $35 stock? And I don't think anything. So maybe before we get all energetic and playing, and start playing with knives and running with scissors, maybe what we should do is wait for that breakout and then the setup. So I can tell you now that DKNG is on my watch list, all my areas of my watch list. So what do I needed to do? I needed to give me a 3/8 trap. I needed to break out. I needed to pull back, give me a 3/8 trap, or below the highest high in 5 days, and I need a bullish candle. I feel that this is just running with scissors or playing with knives. I don't want to do that. And I truly feel, why can't it go to 35? The point I'm trying to make is we don't have to rush into things. That's the point I'm trying to make there. TTWO, more consolidation for me to buy it myself. We're still in this downtrend right now. We are turning up, totally can see that. So I'm probably thinking a breakout. The DKNG and Twillo, I need to say something about this. And I think what happens is everybody is so ingrained on getting right now that when you look at a chart, I look at it like this. I'm not going to buy this chart. I think it's still bullish, but I'm not going to buy this chart, not in 100 years. I'm going to wait till it clears this and sets up. So, yeah, it's moving up. But what would be the harm? Letting it move up more and pulling back. One of the things we have on the scanner which is not in this one. I'm going to show it to you. And it's called a rising. So I want a moving average to be rising. And right here, it's a rising average. And you can adjust it to whatever you want. It comes out of the box, the 17 exponential moving average rising for the past 10 days. So what that's doing is that's taking a chart that's in a trend of at least 10 days based on a moving average. And then what we want is that rise and that pullback and a bullish candle here. See, this has not been rising for 10 days. And this is something that I think a lot of struggling traders and a lot of new traders get a little sideways with, is feeling like you have to catch early, because when you see that trend, that discourages you because you think you've missed the trend. And there are sometimes, this thing could actually fail here and go down. And what happens is you look at charts like this, you can see that, well, doggone it, you're not going to trick me again. I'm going to start getting in earlier. Not always the answer. The trend truly is your friend. Trade in the trend, okay? So it's bullish. I mean, you can clearly see it's moving up, but I'm not I'm not overly excited about it. You can see the trend or the T line is still above, but man, I'll tell you, you've got some overhead resistance there. So anyway, just my 2 cents. I'm going to close this, cancel it. I don't want this to stick. But adding that rising is a real plus, I think. Okay. Oh, let's see. Where are we? You mentioned CVNA recently. Is it still a buy? Well, is it, Dumpling? Based on what we've done today, is that a buy? Based on what we've talked about today. Trend, market is still bullish. You've got a white candle today. Is that a buy? You let me know. You might want to add a few words in there with it, though. Okay. How can you improve in trusting your work, Joel? That is a piece of cake. Okay. Number one, stop trying to make money. Serious as a heart attack. Just stop it. Number two, when you're buying a chart, stop buying options if you buy options. Just stop it. If you are trying to build confidence, do not buy options and do not make money. Number two, if you're trying to build confidence, buy shares of a stock. Buy 2 shares. That's all. The stock moves up, you close out 1 share, you keep 1 share, and you learn to manage it. That's how you build confidence. But the minute you put $1,000 on the line, you've just screwed the pooch. You might as well shoot yourself in the foot. You'll never build confidence putting $1,000 on the line. Not ever. You'll run out of money before you build confidence, unless you're a billionaire. Okay. So Dumpling, let's see, CVNS, let's see, CVNDA, yeah, is still above the T line. I would start buying 1/3 of a position. Then there you go. It's a buy, isn't it? Because you think it's a buy. It's not what I think. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole myself, but that's what 30+ years gets me. Okay. I look at this chart and I don't like it now. I love the trend, but I don't love yesterday's candle. In fact, I'm a little bit nervous of it. Me, do I think it can go higher? Yes, I have no problem with that. A trend will stay a trend until it's no longer a trend. And I'm very positive on a trend until that trend breaks down. Now, I don't like yesterday's candle, so I think what I'm going to have to do is see something, maybe like this. If we take just yesterday's candle and this low right here, the 50% mark is right here. Now we can get rid of that. I could see maybe, if the chart's set up, buying above 2260. Maybe. But that's me. Now, see, you said start buying. There's nothing wrong with that. I just disagree with that, and that's okay. That's all right. Let's see. What is the parameters of price relationship? Probably above the 17. Price relationship above the 17. Okay. For this one, it's above the 17. For all my trading, it's above the 17, because that's my trading trend. But there may be cases where I also, like the rounded bottom breakout, it's above the 50-period moving average and the 17. At a rounded bottom breakout, I don't buy it if it's below the 17. That is part of my routine. Part of my routine. I only look at what fits my criteria. That's the only thing I look at. You could buy something and make $1 million on it, and it could be very possible it never ever comes up on one of my scans. It has to be what I want or I don't want it. Meta might be trying to set up. Let's see. M is setting up, and then we're going to call it a day here pretty quick. Yes, take a look at that. M setting up. Macy's. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to flag that. Thank you. I don't think that's on my watch list. All right. Everyone, thanks for being here. Look, you can go out and you can dig a hole, a big hole, with a shovel. You're probably going to need a pair of gloves because you're going to put a blister on your hand. And that is a cheaper way to do it. Or you can dig a hole with some equipment that you could rent. The scanner is something you could rent every month. If you don't like it, you can return the equipment. But if you want to dig some holes and you don't want to wear yourself out, kill your body, then have the right equipment. Doctors, if you gave a surgeon a buck knife, a Swiss Army knife, and said do surgery on it, that doctor's going to do his darndest to get us a good scalpel and all the tools needed to do surgery on you. Now, I don't know about you, but if there's Dr. A holding a Swiss Army knife in his hand, and if there's Dr. B that's got all the cool stuff, you know, a mask, a scalpel, I don't do doctor stuff, so I don't know what else is in their bag, but all this stainless steel, sterile stuff. Who do you want operating on you? And trading is no different. Trading is absolutely no different. You've got to have the right tools. I highly recommend live trading alerts. I can't even begin to recommend it enough. And with that, I'm going to say everybody have a great day, especially the first month. I think you can rent it for free if you didn't know that. Or maybe it's 14 days. My bad if I said something wrong there. All right, I've got to get out of here. We'll see you guys all later. Thank you so very much. Please come and join me next Monday. Same time, same place, okay? You guys all have a wonderful, wonderful week and good luck trading this week. All righty? Bye-bye, everybody.